funniest part. Oh wait.
And we are live.
Hey everyone. The funniest part about this podcast is that Josh and I had not I spent the entire 15 minutes of Josh was here before the show rambling about bullshit with JD and not actually going over what we were going to talk about. We did before, me and Josh, but not fully. So um yeah. Hey everyone. This is Ultra Podcast Z episode 201. It's your boy Manuel, the internet's favorite cryptid. Am I taking that back now, JD?
No. Pretty sure it's still fangy.
Yeah, it's still fangy. Anyways, yeah, we got a show, and joining me today is Josh. Say hi.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Hope you're all doing well.
It's been it hasn't been a while in the grand scheme of things, but it feels like it's been a while since we had you because it's like I think the last time we had you is also with Janet, and always having 3 people episodes is they always go so fast in my brain because 3 people talking, and I guess 4 technically with JD. It just makes the time fly. What have you been up to, Josh?
Oh, what I've been up to? Trying not to become the next Ghostface or something.
Did you watch Scream 6?
I watched it. It was a thrilling ride. I feel like I was big brain and trying to deduce it, but quite frankly, only light spoilers. But this is light spoilers in terms of what's not in the movie, not in terms of what happens in the movie.
Mm-hmm.
But I would have preferred that it just would have been what's his name? Okay, I don't know his name, but I'm gonna call him Billy Loomis's dad because when I saw it and I see the line "fuck the movies," I honestly thought, like, "Hi, honey." I honestly thought that it probably would have been cool if the killer was Billy's dad, because I figure like if there is anybody that would feel outside of Sydney, but we already proved that Sydney wouldn't do this in the last movie. If there was anybody who probably would have wanted to kill like the half or the illegitimate child of Billy Loomis, it would have been his dad, who at this point is probably like fucked because he cheated on his wife with Sydney's mom, who, you know, if we're going back to fuck the movies, Sydney's mom would do a lot of movies, both risque or just in Hollywood.
Dude, Scream 3 fucked me up.
Yeah.
By the way, for those who don't know, Billy Loomis is one of the killers from Scream 1. I can't remember. You just said her name. It's what's her face's boyfriend in the first
Sydney.
movie.
Sydney.
Yeah, Sydney. There you go. Sydney Prescott. I fucking forget that name. Anyway, Scream 3. Okay, first of all, the Scream movies, in case you've never seen them, they all have to do with the murder of Sydney's mom. Sorta. When you get to Scream 3, you just find out that and I don't want to say she's a horrible person because it turns out that when she went to Hollywood, bad things happened to her and that weren't her fault, so to say. Well, they weren't her fault. I don't know why I phrased it like that, but it's just it's more like Sydney did not know her mom, did she? And I don't mean it's just wild. It's just wild how all this freaking drama just is because of I don't say because of her, but from the people around her.
It's because the studio exec couldn't keep it in his pants.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know. The whole series is that's the mild spoiler alert. Literally everything has to do with Sydney's mom, in some weird way. And once again, not like she's the killer or she did horrible things. Just people didn't like her. People were upset that it's wild. Watch the Scream movies. I think most of them are free on Tubi right now. I think in promotion of Scream 6. I only watched 5 recently, 2 weeks ago, and I rewatched 1 through 4, and I'm like, man, Scream 2 is my favorite. Have you seen Scream 2, Josh?
I saw Scream 2 the most because they would play it a lot on AMC. I actually saw Scream 2 before I saw the first movie, and I would say that first movie definitely holds up, but not for any. I feel it holds up, but for the wrong reasons. The movie is good because they literally wanted to make it about grief. You know how you had slashers, even Wes Craven, when he made it, it was oh, we make slasher movies and stuff, and then this movie's grief sucks. Grief is genuinely a terrible thing, and with the like. Granted, the killers in the first movie are just stabbing people for the most part, and maybe one person gets shot by them. But like when you have just so many people that like go completely mental, like more so because of gun violence, because it's just too damn easy with a gun. Like, how easy is it to just go back? I mean, like, hell, a year later, because I was talking with my girlfriend about this, and I was like, did this come out before or after Columbine? Columbine happens a year after Scream, so it's like, it just kind of, that's why I feel like it ages well, but not for like the right reasons. It ages, yeah.
If you go back and watch the first one, and I mentioned this on a recent stream, I can't remember which one it was.
Yeah.
When I talked about Scary Movie, and I talked about how weird it was that was a parody of Scream. Well, it was a parody of a lot of things, but the first Scary Movie was largely a parody of Scream, and I found that weird because Scream itself was very much a parody at points.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you like. Speaking of time of movies that have aged weirdly, I watched it recently, like I said.
Which one?
The first one. And I haven't seen Scary. I haven't seen.
Which franchise are you talking about?
The first Scream. I have not seen the first Scary Movie in a while, but the first Scream is that there's a scene where like. First of all, the Fonz plays the principal, which I always loved. Them was like I remember even as a kid, I was like, hey, But anyways, oh, that's a boomer reference if there ever was one. But there's a point when he goes outside to go yell at the janitor of the school, and it's Wes Craven dressed up like fucking Freddy Krueger.
Isn't the character even named Fred?
It is. It's like Fred the janitor. And if I remember, because I'm going to edit this episode, I'm going to put a picture of him above, because it's like you'd swear that scene is from Scary Movie. Like the way it plays out, like it's so like just on the nose, like we're referencing things.
I think like, I mean, oh shoot, I'm forgetting the name of the brothers who did the Scary Movie.
Well, the Wayans.
Yeah, there we go. Like they're still good. Like I like how the second one is just ripping on a bunch of what's it called, Stephen King shit. Like it's yeah, and even here, I genuinely Tiffany says, I genuinely wonder what would have happened to the Scream franchise if the script for the first sequel didn't get leaked, and if they didn't try to churn out another movie. Apparently,
it's funny because like out of nowhere, like I had heard that story for ages, and I had to actually look into it. Apparently, I don't remember anyone's name. I just saw this Scream 2 also, but I forgot the killer's names. It's the reporter lady.
Oh, Gail Weathers.
No. Well,
sorry. You mean the other reporter?
Other reporter lady,
Mrs. Loomis. Sorry, spoilers. We're spoiling every movie basically.
Yeah. Well, how did I forget her name? Yeah, it's Mrs. Loomis, and I can't remember that one student, the best friend of Sydney's new boyfriend. Mm-hmm. Are the killers, and apparently it was actually supposed to be Sydney's boyfriend, and the whole movie kind of like sort of hints that it's him. It's supposed to be him and like the girl, and not his girlfriend, but like one of the friends.
Yeah, or one of her roommates, I think.
And apparently the way the movie was supposed to really end was Matthew Lillard was going to still be alive, and it was going to end with like a shot of like the camera pulling back, and it's him like looking at. Well, it's not him. Well, we don't know it's him. Well, like the killer's still there, but it's going to be him. And then Matthew Lillard was going to be the killer in part 3. And apparently, if you go, I mean, this is not apparently. Like I actually already knew he was in it. If you go back and watch some of the party scenes and whatever, Matthew Lillard is in Scream 2. And it was meant to be like a setup for it, because I mean, like the script leaked while the movie was like filming, so like they had to like move on the fly to fix it. I don't know. I think that's funny because like was it really that important back then? Like the internet existed, but it wasn't the way it is now. I feel like they could have they didn't have to like spend millions to reshoot things. I'm sure that
also Manuel, the name of the other killer is Mickey Altieri.
Mickey Altieri, yes.
Yeah, played by Timothy Oliphant.
Oh, I didn't recognize him.
Yeah, I don't. Tiffany says, "Oh wait, AJ's I was reading about." Oh,
yeah.
Tiffany says, "I don't disagree with Scream having sequels. I just don't really like the ones that ended up getting made." And I kind of feel like that it's easy to see the problems with 2 because I also feel that they could have redirected it with 2. Like part of me kind of feels like you could have also have had like one of the like if you were gonna change it to anybody, you could have also just gone with one of the people that were at the sorority houses.
Oh yeah.
It kind of felt like you probably could have found somebody else to also work along with Mickey. I just have more of an issue that I feel like Billy Loomis is more they're just referencing probably Friday the 13th because it's just kind of like, oh look, it was like the
It was
person's
the mom.
but like it feels different because like one in Friday the 13th they don't know who the fuck that lady is. So like when she ends up killing people and she drops it, it's like, well, we saw this lady earlier, but of course we weren't gonna think that she was doing anything. So when she's revealed, it's kind of like like WTF. But like yeah, when that happens and you're telling me that reporter of the best reporter on Earth in this universe, Gail fucking Weathers, is not going to. And I'm sorry, I'll try to keep the cussing to a minimum.
No, that's fine. I
It's
love
not
that.
going to. Is not going to recognize, Billy Loomis's mom, but
Well,
like Sydney on one glance is like, oh shit.
To be
This is
fair,
not shoot, I
Sydney
do.
had known Mrs. Loomis for what, like 18 years at that point, and she had just gone through like weight loss and plastic surgery. It's explained
Well,
like
it is, but still. Also, Tiffany did mention in the chat that like So I'm still laughing about. I was laughing just because the greatest reporter in the world thing. That's what made me laugh for some reason. But but about Scream 2's ending works better with her boyfriend, like being innocent. It's funny because I didn't know. I mean, I saw all these movies and I didn't notice until I was reading articles about this. I think today, about like the one I saw today about the script leak, where apparently I never noticed this. The necklace that she gets,
Yeah.
the she wears that the rest of the fucking like series.
Yes.
I never fucking noticed. And to be fair, the movie does like it's not like it was a secret Easter egg. Like she holds. I'm like, oh my god, I'm fucking stupid.
Yes,
I
Manuel, we
watched
know.
them in order.
Nothing else is new.
Like how could you, like, before he got stabbed by Mickey, he got as bad, he was forcibly made to get as wasted as you, Manuel, before
Oh
he ended up
yeah,
getting killed
I
off.
forgot.
Like,
I forgot about. I mean, like I saw it recently, but I forgot they did the hazing ritual. And then he gets shot, dude. When he got shot, even when I saw it the very first time, I think I saw it the very first time. The first one I think I saw in theaters. Fun fact: I should not have been there, but I saw it in theaters anyway. Part two though, I think I saw it on a TV edit.
yeah.
And because it was a TV edit, they didn't actually show him really get shot. So I didn't know it was such a clear, like they shot him, he's bleeding everywhere.
Mhm.
So like I'm like, oh, he's alive. like
Oh,
like he's
they
not
they censor shot
yeah.
what's his name, and like I do agree here because like in the same way that you were agreeing, like the one thing to be paranoid, everyone, what's it called, to be paranoid of everyone you love is trying to kill you, but the emotional damage of thinking that being wrong and getting an innocent person killed is so much worse because she literally backs away from him as Mickey
Yeah.
like just like expositing and all that stuff, and it's just kind of like, dude, no. And like it's crazy because that's the one movie where the love interest was, well, actually no, the third movie the love interest is also not the killer. I guess
Yep.
it's just something that's just kind of thrown out there, but like Derek, there we go. Derek's last words being, I would have never hurt you, definitely makes her being completely emotionally shut down in the next movie
Nice.
make a lot more sense. Like she's isolated at that point.
Yeah.
And I like how when we were talking about this, Tiffany would even say like, why would she not get like a Doberman or something? She is like inviting that dog to have problems. And then I'm just like, yeah, like what is she gonna do? Is she gonna go John Wick if something happens to that dog? Like what's gonna go down? I mean, thankfully she didn't bring the dog with him when confronting what's it called? Confronting Roman and stuff like that. But like,
Once again, spoilers for all these movies.
fuck,
I know. I had to Google it to make sure because I'm like, wait, that's the dude from Sliders, right? Nobody remembers that show but me, I'm sure. But
I don't know the name of the show, unfortunately.
it's like where that guy, Derek's character, I mean Derek's actor plays
Yeah.
somebody who makes this device that lets you travel between universes, and just insanity ensues in each one. It's kind of like Quantum Leap, but like universes, sort of like time travel-ish stuff. John Rhys Davies is also in it. It's Gimli and Derek from Scream 2.
Jerry O'Connell.
Yeah, he's also from Stand By Me and a bunch of other shit. But I had to mainly I couldn't remember if he was from Sliders because if I'm not mistaken, and actually I'm sure it is because now that I looked it up, Sliders was still on TV like when that came out, when Scream 2 was released. Anyway, no, the Scream movies are great. Like for some reason I remember like at the time it's funny because I was really into horror movies when I was younger.
Mm-hmm.
And it's funny because the Scream movies definitely revitalize, for better or worse, depending on how you view it, revitalize horror, especially slashers around that time. But for some reason, I did not like the Scream movies growing up, really. Like, I like them, but I thought they were like, how do I say this? The like the milquetoast versions of horror movies, like they were boring, but they're actually really good. Like I thought this before this recent viewing. I saw them again 10 years ago, and I'm like, oh man, these are fucking masterpieces. Like when Scream 4 came out or whatever.
Yeah,
And I'm like, I'm just fucking stupid.
I feel bad because like when I saw the fifth movie,
Ghost Apartment, the roaches.
when I watched the fifth movie, I had what's it called? I don't know. I didn't feel like I enjoyed it nearly as much because it does feel a little bit weird when Wes Craven's not at the
I was
helm.
gonna say, like, unfortunately, Wes Craven wasn't there. Like,
Yeah.
he really,
But
yeah.
But I felt bad because with the things that happened in that movie, I felt bad because I was giving the fourth movie shit because and I think it's because when we watch something, maybe we're just getting like an immediate reaction, so it's hard to be separated from the moment. But like watching the previous three and then watching the fourth one, I felt like, gosh damn, Sydney cannot get a break with where these people pop up from. And it also felt like it was copying a lot of the Last Killer's motive. So it did feel a little like weird. And I guess it also did feel a little inconsequential since our main three survivors, like they're still alive. But like with what happens at least I can understand when they were making the fifth one, they said that they did want to get rid of one of the legacy characters so that it felt like there was weight to what was going on. But then I'm just kind of upset because I'm upset because in the same way that they got rid of one of the characters in Scream 2 because it was like, oh shit, like when they got rid of
Randy.
what's it called?
The movie
when they got rid of Randy,
Randy is the movie.
I was gonna say Jamie Kennedy and stuff like that, maybe, but when they got rid of him because they wanted there to be weight, and then at that point, it's just kind of like, yeah, like it does add a bit to it. It also did feel a little bit weird because in the third one, also they don't really do anything to what's her name, Dewey or
Gail.
What's it called?
Well, don't they try to kill Dewey in the third one? Like
they try to kill Dewey and everyone until 5 when they finally succeed.
Everyone.
That is true.
The third one at least is probably the one he was the least banged up in, but like I honestly wonder if they just kept on making double scenes just in case, or they're like, oh no, we'll keep David Arquette. We don't want him to die just yet. But we'll just see what happens.
No, my favorite part about them killing Randy is that he still appears in part 3
because he was fresh enough to tape, knowing that there'd be a trilogy.
But here's the thing though, watching the movies, okay, watching the movies like back to back and stuff like that, I think it's interesting how I think when he does the trilogy thing, it's because there was a scene prior when the second girl dies, or the second third. When the third person dies in the first movie, sorry, I'm not talking right. When the third person dies in the second movie, there is a moment where Mickey is still trying to do the whole sequel talk with I should look this way. I'm looking at this screen. Let me just fix my monitors because I don't like the way I'm looking over here. I'm having the whole like documentary look. Okay, here we go. This is better. So Mickey asks Randy about like another sequel. I think they said
sequels that are better than the first movie.
Emperor Strikes Back. He goes Emperor Strikes Back, and then Randy goes part of a trilogy planned from the get-go, which is bullshit. Yeah. It is so bullshit. That was not planned from the start. What's his name? George Lucas had no faith in his first outing. He literally did not do a second outing. Well,
American Graffiti.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I see what you mean. Yeah.
It was a standalone The Star Wars.
It's because he felt that in the first Star Wars movie that it wasn't gonna do good, so he didn't even go to a red carpet showing. He literally went to because when he saw what it looked like before it was saved in post, he honestly had no faith. So when he went to a screening, like without letting anyone know, like just he went to a separate screening, and then everyone loved it in that theater he went to, and he was like, "Oh shit, this is really good," because the editors like cut it in a way where it was more feasible. But the second, like, he did direct the second movie. That was somebody else that was like taking over for that one.
Oh my god, this is a mad tangent, but I got into this rant before. Like, even though I don't go with the whole Empire was the best one, I do think that it's worth noting that he didn't. I think he might have co-written. I don't know, but he didn't write or direct either Empire Strikes Back or Return of the Jedi, and I feel like that never gets mentioned. Like it's the fucking Nightmare Before Christmas thing, like I mentioned before, like where everyone just assumes that's a Tim Burton directed movie, even though it's not.
But
I don't know who's
it's produced, and it was.
Is it Henry Selick or something like that?
Yeah, I went to a horror convention one time, and like I met the dude who wrote Empire Strikes Back. I'll never forget it because he wrote it. He apparently wrote some other movie. I forgot what the fuck he was writing he was actually there for, that I wanted to get his autograph for. I've long forgotten. But
You remember the guy's name?
I can't remember anymore. I thought he wrote the novelization. I was like, "Oh, you wrote the novel?" He's like, "No, I wrote the script."
Lawrence Kasdan?
Like, yeah, that had to have been him. But like it blew my mind. I was like, "What the?" This is ages ago, by the way, and I was like, "What the fuck?" I was like, I didn't say this, but I'm like, I'm definitely gonna autograph now. But in my head, I was like, George Lucas wrote that, right? No, he didn't.
He's credited with story. George Lucas is credited with story. The Kasdan and Lee Brackett are credited with the screenplay.
I think it was Kasdan. I'm gonna look at my profile.
So you didn't meet a woman.
Oh, I still want JD to finish his.
Yeah, no, that's all I got for right now.
But yeah, no,
he wrote The Force Awakens too. I did not know that.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
the guy. Why was The Force Awakens not as good as Empire? Sorry, that's.
To be fair, I feel Force Awakens was course correction. So, there's just a lot about Force Awakens that, as a Star Wars film, I think it works. But as an ongoing story-based film, it's literally just like a starting point, and it has a lot of moments in it that you clearly see are supposed to be answered later, versus how other movies are either working backwards, like The Phantom Menace. So you have shit that's kind of happening, and you're trying to work or go in a particular direction. I feel that the first Star Wars, at least in the way that it was cut, is really good because it's at least doing the hero's journey in a very straightforward manner. And like, Vader goes off into the distance in that scene. You don't know whether or not he's actually dead. You're not really sure if there's really more to the Emperor or not, because what was the name of the guy that they brought back in CGI later?
Grand Moff Tarkin.
Yeah, Tarkin. Like, Tarkin in itself is a pretty vicious dude, just alone in the film. So
when I was a kid, I thought he was the Emperor.
You thought he was the Emperor?
Yeah, I thought he was the Emperor.
Because he's so freaking cold. Like, for real.
Real talk. I've never said this before. I thought he was the Emperor, and he somehow survived a Death Star, and that's why he looks fucked up.
Okay. Quickly before we go, just on Return of the Jedi, George Lucas is credited on the screenplay with Kasdan and for the original story.
Also, for the record, I think I was there because like it was Raiders of the Lost Ark. That's the thing I thought he was, known for.
That too.
Sorry, he wrote a ton of shit. What the fuck? He wrote The Bodyguard. Remember that movie with the "I Will Always Love You" song?
Yeah. Okay, so we're gonna talk about Scream some more. Or Star Wars.
I'll go back. I know just Scream. Yeah,
Jamie Kennedy. Yeah.
Yeah. So when Mickey says that to Randy, and Randy goes his whole spiel about being part of a trilogy, I think because it's clearly the daytime in the scene. So what I think happened is the following morning, Randy probably thought
the trilogy.
Like, he probably thought, just based off of what Mickey had said, he probably thought like, you know what? just in case, I should probably film this now. I mean, it could have happened at any time just before he died, but I figure that if there would have been any point where he would have done
any window.
Yeah. Because it's like whenever you go back and you try to see little things that you kind of feel like, what if this was this kind of? Because like we know that Mrs. Loomis kills Randy. She pretty much says it. So another fun part about when watching the movies is figuring like who exactly is who in certain scenes. It's really easy when you can tell one person is not there versus the other. But otherwise, it's like who, like it's kind of fun so long as there's not too many like inconsistencies, like kind of when shoot, I don't want to spoil too much on some of the other movies, but like
I will say this,
yeah,
part of me feels that Jamie Kennedy should have been like the Jigsaw, or like, you know, what's Tobin Bell's character's name? I can't remember his actual name. Well, it's still Jigsaw, but it should have been like him, where he dies in part 2, but he's in every fucking movie somehow still.
Oh yeah, dude, my favorite is my favorite was before they did the movie. Like I think it's supposed to be called Jigsaw or something like that. Like I like how you kind of have to work around to see that this movie is a prequel. And just having him show up, like to me, I felt like, bro, that felt like that was really cool. The only thing I don't like about that movie is the way that it's shot. Feels like it's like an episode of Bones or something. So I was just very much.
I like that episode. I kind of I call it episode. I kind of like that movie. By the way, mild spoiler. It's not a spoiler for the actual plot. I mean, it kind of is, but it turns out that movie took place when he was still alive, but it's concurrent with like the end. It just because of time, you know, it was years apart.
And I felt they gave good clues. I felt like they gave really good clues in that movie as to who Jigsaw could be. So like by the time the final scene happens, I'm kind of like, it's that guy. It's gotta be that guy. Like,
I thought you were gonna say your favorite flashback scene was the infamous one where to show that it was in the past and he was younger, they show Tobin Bell with a backwards baseball cap. Like, hi fellow kids. Oh man. Anyways, everyone go watch Group 6.
It's a really thrilling ride. I just, like I said, I would have preferred that it would have been what's his name? Billy Loomis's dad. I feel like it just narratively would have made a lot of sense. And yeah, but it's a thrilling ride. I'm glad that they brought back Kirby. Kirby seemed like a really cool character. Mm-hmm. I was very much just kind of like, damn, the Culkin kid does not know when to know someone's dead.
I'm choking here. Sorry. Oh, the Culkins. Anyway, what was that? What was we actually talking about? It's so funny because the Scream thing happened on accident. Like, I saw this movie yesterday, called what the fuck is it called? The Octo Games. And I wanted just to briefly talk about that. Not briefly talk about that.
Sorry, Manuel. One last thing before we move on to whatever you're talking about. You know, the original title for Scream was going to be Scary Movie.
Scary Movie, yeah, it was going to be Scary Movie, and then I think they had. So I remember hearing Wes Craven talk about it. Apparently, like the Weinsteins were like, "Oh, the Weinsteins were like, you know, that name's not marketable or whatever," and it's like, I guess it'll be Scream. And apparently, he hated that title. Rightfully so, I think. But yeah.
Okay.
I watched this movie called The Octo Games, and it's basically a cheap ripoff of Squid Game, but like, I kind of loved it in a really bad, cheesy way because, like, remember when Mr. Beast did that the fake Squid Game thing?
Mm-hmm.
It felt like they were more spoofing that than spoofing Squid Game because it was about a YouTuber who's like sets up this whole thing, and then like. And everyone working for him is just getting paid from the millions in advertisings, and he even does ad reads during it. It's a really cheesy movie. That's all I wanted to say. Everyone should go. I think it's free on most services. I watched it on Tubi. What I found funny is I didn't realize I was watching it on Tubi. For some reason, I did not get a single ad during that movie. But yeah, maybe that movie's broken, or they're just really giving it away for free. So everyone go watch it.
No, there's a lot of stuff on Tubi that doesn't have like ads. Like there are some things you can just watch without ads, and then other things have ads.
I realize now that I probably just accidentally like figured that out because usually the fucking movie every 15-20 minutes has a fucking ad, or like if you're watching a TV show to have an ad where the commercial should be. But But no, I thought I was watching it on Amazon Prime or Netflix until it was done, and I'm like, wait, this is Tubi. Like, where were the ads? I don't know. Anyways, Scott Pilgrim is getting an anime. Sorry, I have a love-hate. Do you like Scott Pilgrim, Josh?
Yes, I do. I've read the 6 books, though I am gonna like admit that when I had read them, it was literally right before the first movie came out, so it has been a little bit of time, and I'm totally a different person than when those what's it called, books came out, because I was barely like out of high school at the time.
It's funny you preface it with that, because like my opinion, first of all, I thought the movie was good. I liked it a lot more when I was younger. I have not seen it recently, but I saw it about like 7-8 years ago, and I'm like, this isn't as good as I liked it when I was like, in my like early 20s or late teens when I saw it. I can't remember exactly when it came out, but I think it was early 20s. But my big opinion of that movie was it was one of those movies where like people of a certain age, younger than me at the time though, people of a certain age like will just latch onto that movie and like it becomes their identity. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I feel that the fact that it was kind of a cult hit, because like it was only like when I saw it, and then it was out of theaters, like I kid you not, like it wasn't even a month. It was gone. I guess it just did that poorly where I was where I lived. Um and to be fair, like I saw advertisements for it like on Telemundo and stuff. And when I saw that there, I was genuinely confused, because like I like when you see ads everywhere. Like you'll just add people to go to the movie, but like for a very over the top video game themed movie about a romance story and essentially a greater story about someone being depressed and someone having baggage, it's very weird as to where exactly you are marketing this movie towards, because I'm pretty sure if you just see ads for it just everywhere, most people are either going to say, I wonder what that is, because I'm pretty sure the most some people would probably notice on Telemundo would just be like that one Michael Cera kid, maybe because he was coming out in a lot of movies at the time.
I was gonna say that too. I remember not really like. I remember like. Admittedly, it's kind of stupid. I didn't, because he's not a bad actor, or a bad person, but I didn't. I had an instant chip on my shoulder about that movie because he was in it. I'm like, oh, it's fucking.
It's just
Michael
because you were
Cera.
seeing him in everything. He was coming out in so many movies.
Was Juno before or after that?
Before. Juno was before.
Yeah, I just remember like, oh, it's that fucker again. It's like that every because okay. It's mainly the type of archetype he like. I don't know if I'm sure he's not really like this, which is part that kind of, if he is, I don't know, maybe I just don't like the person. But that kind of
he is, and this is the end. That is probably how he.
The kind of goofy, happy-go-lucky every person, like the person you can identify with, because he's so just. He feels like, when you play a visual novel, like a harem visual novel, he is like the epitome of the visual novel protagonist, like who has no face. And it's just like, yeah, I'm generic guy.
Yeah, what does that make Jesse Eisenberg then at the time?
That was about 10% more personality.
Exactly. I was gonna say, like,
wow.
I just remember like a lot. I remember even my fiance ex I mentioned a lot. She had by the time we eventually met, like it'd been years since that movie came out, but she had seen it when she was like a little bit young. Well, we were a little younger in age, but she had seen it when she was like in high school or whatever. And she became one of the people where, like, because I remember one of the first conversations we ever had was she's like, oh, I love this movie, we should watch it, like, if you've not seen it. I'm like, I've seen it. She's like, she was one of those people who, like, I feel bad ragging on her, she's actually kind of cool now, but like, who like it becomes like that movie becomes your personality. I know I'm going to piss off somebody by making this comparison. Remember when Napoleon Dynamite came out, and like,
great movie.
Oh god, I hate you, GD. I fucking hate that movie.
Feeling is mutual, Manuel. Don't worry.
But like when everyone was quoting that movie and feeling like they're repeating all the jokes from it.
Gosh, Manuel.
God, and I was like, flip this fucking table. And they made that movie like it's one thing to like see a character and you're like, oh, I kind of want to be like that character. So I think when you see a character, you're like, oh, I want to be that character. It's like the way kind of like probably a certain a certain type of kid is just becoming like the Joker or some shit, in some dark corners of the internet somewhere. And I mean the Joaquin Phoenix Joker, by the way.
Okay, not Heath Ledger.
But, no, not Heath Ledger. Joaquin Phoenix.
What about Cesar Romero?
We live in a society, Joker. but yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I have mixed feelings, but I love the video game. The game is great. Have you played the game, Josh?
Oh man, my PS3 is dead, and
yeah.
That
well,
I don't know what happened to my PS3, but like I had it on my PS3, so I played that with friends.
I still have it on my PS3. I assume it's still alive. I haven't turned it on in a year or two.
Dude, I would really check it. I didn't even know the what's it called? I didn't even know that the PS3 could blue screen. It was very trippy.
Oh, FYI, yeah, it's funny that every so often you've been seeing. This is a mild tangent, but like we talked about it last week when the eShop closed down, the Wii U and the 3DS eShops closed down.
Oh,
and everyone, so all the conversations are like, "Oh, go physical, like physical media." It's funny, like like most modern consoles are very prone to failure. Apparently, if you don't turn them on constantly, the Wii U apparently has I have no idea what the fuck NAND memory is. Maybe JD does. But apparently everyone knew this since launch, that apparently like it uses NAND memory and that has to have a charge. And apparently if you leave it off for like a year or two, it'll corrupt itself. And unless you hacked it before and backed it up, you have a brick.
That is so crazy. I mean, I have a Wii U, but my parents mainly use it for the extra stuff on it, so I hope that they have been using it. But otherwise, I'm just like, why are you the way you are in gaming industry? Not Nintendo, just the whole gaming industry. Why are you the way you are? Like, preserve your shit, man.
And I talked about this before about like how like cartridges are dying, like literally just physically dying. And I don't understand the tech on why. It just reasons. But apparently, Nintendo used a bunch of cheap EEPROMs. Once again, words I'm reading off the internet that I don't know what they actually mean. But they used a bunch of cheap EEPROMs for most of the 3DS cartridges. So apparently, some of them are already dying now. like people are like, oh, no Atari original games work anymore. NES games are dying too. Failure rates. But apparently, there's 3DS games that just don't work anymore because I guess the physical media, but something with the insides of them they just stop working. I have no idea how the fuck this is above my pay grade here, JD.
It's above my pay grade, Manuel. I have the basic idea of what you're talking about. Yeah, it's just like the memory that is used in it.
Yeah, apparently physical media, it's a
nothing lasts forever.
Happening. Nothing lasts forever in the cold November rain. Anyway.
Okay, so Scott Pilgrim.
Fun fact: if you really want to play the game, it goes on sale on the Switch. Probably other consoles too, but on the Switch it goes for sale all the time for like $4. I bought it like 6 months ago on a sale. But it's a good game. It's just it's a fun beat 'em up. But they're making an anime.
They're bringing back the original cast.
See, I love that it's the original cast because maybe I'll like this better. I don't know because supposedly it's going to be more in line with the books.
Chris Evans fans will probably be a little disappointed. But
wait, who is Chris Evans?
He was the movie star boyfriend or ex.
Oh,
yeah. Remember, he doesn't have a big role because he shows up in the second book, but he's literally like here and there, like within 2 pages. Like he literally has a very small role.
It's Captain America. But yeah, like they're making. I kind of like that it's going to be like based on the book. Apparently, it's going to be based more on the books than the movie was because they have more time to work with.
Yeah,
but I feel like it stretches the term anime. I don't know what your view on.
It's like, dude, Ladybug is anime. Just accept things, okay?
Oh, you're one of those. I was about to ask you that exact question.
It was made in a Korean studio. It came out in South Korea first, And even though it's French, yes, the French dub did come before the English dub, but still, you gotta realize that,
I don't know, man. I don't know.
Oh, okay, but
like
for Scott Pilgrim, it is a Japanese studio with one of their first 5 employees directing it.
Hold on. I don't think this is a crazy turn. Okay, I'll be the first to tell you that well, maybe you guys know if you've been there. Anyone watching knows that they've been there, or they just know because it's kind of common knowledge. Anime, the word in Japanese, is just a shortening for animation. If you go to if you go to fucking Book Off in Japan, or I don't know what the fuck sells media in Japan, like a Tower Records, and you go to the anime section, you'll find like fucking The Simpsons right next to like Sorcerer, Stabber, Orphan. You know, like I don't think they would be alphabetized that way, but they would be right next to each other basically. Um, shit like that. Like yeah, but here outside of Japan, anime pretty much means Japanese animation. Right?
Yes.
Am I the only one who
Yeah,
thinks
no,
that?
I see what you're saying, but I'm still pointing out that it is a Japanese animation studio who's handling it.
Okay, but you remember how like The Hobbit and Return of the King were animated? I only know this recently, by the way. They're apparently animated by a precursor to Studio Ghibli.
You're talking about like
Hopcraft?
very early animations of them, right?
Yeah, I can't remember what the fuck their name is. It was like you know, like I think it was the same people like did Panda Go Panda or shit like that. But like it was definitely by Japanese animation studio. You know how like fucking the those stop motion ones, I forget what the fuck they're called. The
Rankin and Bass, Christmas ones.
Yeah, the Rankin Bass. Apparently those are done by Japanese studios. The Last Unicorn was done by a Japanese studio. I'm sure there's countless others I'm forgetting off the top of my head. It's like, are those anime? I don't think so, because they had an American production cast, and that's my idea with Scott Pilgrim. It's like, I don't know, man.
Manuel, we live in a not society is the wrong word for it. We live in a much more digital global age.
Why is Donkey on the chat?
I was going to say Don Quixote, but I don't know what they actually sell there.
Oh, for the record, Don Quixote does also have the Don Quixote is literal, like it's like Target. That's a better way to describe it. It's like Target. I was gonna say like a general store, but it's like Target. But yes, they would have DVDs as well.
Yeah, and I know some people call it Donkey.
Yeah, because Don Quixote. But anyway, I don't know. Like I'm one of those people who used to always get annoyed when people would call Teen Titans anime, and I feel like Teen Titans has a hell of a lot more connections because their theme song was by Hi Puffy Amiyumi, shit like that. By the way, fun fact, I gotta look his name up. The dude who's doing the music for Scott Pilgrim. Hold on.
Amanaguchi or whatever.
No. It would be funny if it was them, and that's a good example too. No, his name is Joseph. Oh, it is. By the way, Anamanaguchi is doing the music too. His name is Joseph Trapanese, and that sounds like I thought it was a joke. I keep looking it up. Maybe it is, but like, first of all, he's a white guy. But like, I can't tell if it's a joke. But from what I looked up, that's his real name, or at the very least legally, because I keep searching. There's even somebody who asked somewhere. It's like, no, his name is Trapanese, and that feels like a really bad, almost racist joke. I'll never forget the time I went to J-Pop Summit in 97. Oh my god, 2017, 2016. And Anna Monoguchi was the headliner, right? Because they were pretty big, and they were also at AX, I think, a couple years before that. But when they were at J-Pop Summit, the PR person who was arranging interviews, was asking if we wanted to do an interview with them because I think nobody was really asking for them. And he didn't know until we were at the event that they were not a Japanese group. And to this day, I'm not sure why they have such a weird, weeby name like that. Supposedly it's gibberish. I just looked it up right now. Supposedly it's gibberish in the style of Jabba the Hutt. But doesn't Huttese does not sound like that, sir. Sir.
Oh, yeah.
That is not Huttese. It sounds like Anna Monoguchi sounds like it could be a weird, like that's someone's name. Well, that's someone's names in Japanese word. A Japanese word.
Okay. Yes. About Japanese, it's probably Trapanese. It's Italian from the city of Trapani or from the province of Trapani.
Okay, so that makes a lot more sense. But for the record, I'm not the only one. Because when I googled it, there's other people asking the exact same question. I think I'm not gonna lie. I think because of Scott Pilgrim, especially because he's with Anamanaguchi, it just feels like that again. It's like, yeah, guys, I'm Trapanese because I play trap music. It's like, bro, you're racist. Oh God, it's like Capri's, like the Caprese. I called it Capri's.
Yeah, I just like how Gen Z will look at us still and be kind of like, the fuck was going on? And then we have to tell them like, fuck, okay, so we try to be better, but like, yeah, no, it was a different time and we're kind of idiots. But to be fair, this was the only media that we had. So literally when we would have things spit our way, the industry approved of it first and then it came to us. So besides we were kids, so of course we're gonna be stupid. So
I refuse to believe that Anamanaguchi playing this weeby ass music, playing at Anime Expo, playing at J-Pop Summit, leading into that crowd, being involved with Scott Pilgrim the anime, thought that Anamanaguchi is gibberish. I refuse to believe that. Just admit it. I'm sorry. This got another rant.
We just don't have to double down. We just agree that we learn. And
do you think Teen Titans or Avatar anime? I don't. Do you think?
No, well, to be fair, I didn't think a lot of stuff was anime until the anime club that I went to would really point things out. I honestly just thought shit was commercials and it was just like a particular art style, especially since when I would watch Teen Titans. And like when I got to high school, that was all pre-Avatar, pre-Teen Titans, after, I guess post. Never mind. When I got to high school, that was post all of that stuff. So it was more easy to identify and then also like put two and two together more about how, oh, okay, so when it actually has more Asian influences and then later becoming more educated on more of that stuff, like it's very apparent. Like I do agree that when it comes to what we refer to as anime, yeah, it's pretty much just stuff that's more so animation from Japan. But yeah, no, when I would watch things, I just simply thought they were cartoons. I just thought like, oh, this is a different cartoon. I guess this one has a story.
If you want to piss off an anime fan, call it cartoons. I do that every so often.
What else was I calling it? I was literally calling it cartoons at the time, Like Toonami wasn't telling me it's called anime. You fucking what's it called? I don't know what the word would have been, nerd, weeb, or something. I don't know. Insert insult term here. I guess idiot. There you go. It's called anime, you idiot. But like, but yeah, no. Like I just watched it. What was I gonna think? Like,
oh, sorry, you're gonna say?
I was gonna say that I want Hiroyuki Sanada to be Knives' dad. I know that Knives' dad is Chinese, but like. If there would be anybody that I would say should do it, should be Hiroyuki Sanada, because for some reason Knives' dad uses a katana. I don't know why.
I had to look him up. I was like, is that him? Yeah, he was the dude from The Ring. Anyway, he's in a ton of other shit.
Okay, Manuel.
Wait, he was in The Last Samurai? Anyway, keep going. What are you gonna say, JD?
I would say, Manuel. I just want to kind of drill down. What exactly are the factors for being an anime for you then? Does it have to be entirely Japanese produced? Does it have to be
okay, I think it has to be animated for sure. And I know you're going to say that it ticks the box already, but the production side has to be Japanese as well. Or at the very least, be more involved. And I don't care what you say, that one fucker.
How much, like, if it's an international co-production, how much of it has to be Japanese? Like,
half?
Okay. Because otherwise, if it had to be fully, there might be some Lupin anime that don't get counted. Because it's apparently because it's apparently got Italian co-producers, at least for the last two, I think.
Well, a lot of that's kind of like funding, but also, this is funny. So I'm not saying Devilman Crybaby is not anime, But there's also the same studio that did Devilman Crybaby.
A good show.
Like, oh, fuck that show.
It is a good show, but fuck that show.
No, okay, for the record, I love Devilman. I love Go Nagai. I fucking hated Devilman Crybaby. Okay, I didn't think the stories were bad. The animation was terrible, which is the ironic part.
The animation was amazing. Stylistic choice.
Oh no, I'll admit it was a choice. It was not a good choice.
No.
It was
okay. Here's why it's a good choice.
Memes. It became memes.
It became memes, not because of the animation. It became memes due to choice and editing. That's the only reason why. Okay. I would have cut some scenes differently, but otherwise, like the animation was good. Like I will agree with you. When I first saw the animation, I thought like this doesn't look very detailed. This looks very lax. This looks very like
it looks lazy. It looks
budget was coming to mind. Especially because before I saw Devilman Crybaby, there was this other show on Netflix that I swear to God, I don't know how it got greenlit because it was apparently just a cartoon about superheroes. And I saw it and I just thought like, this kind of looks like trash. And I put it on and it was garbage. I can't remember the name. I just remember that I saw this on Netflix and I was just like, who approved of this? This is literally a waste of money. There's like practically no dialogue. The art was very similar to Devilman Crybaby.
This is the Toblerone one? I can't remember what the fuck the name of that show was.
No. That was Neo Yokio. That show is like actually budgeted and stuff by comparison. No, I'm just saying that Devilman Crybaby had an animation style that was used by this other show that was on Netflix that was just shit. Like it wasn't anime. It wasn't like it was some American-based thing to my knowledge, but like. Yeah, it was crap. So when I was seeing the first episode of Devilman Crybaby, at first I was just kind of like, I don't know, this animation is making me feel weary. But like, I simply think that was just probably a budgetary constraint mixed with a stylistic choice, because by the end of it, I really feel that, I think that this did really well with the animation that it was doing with.
It's funny because Devilman has had a TV show, has had several OVAs before this.
And the OVAs look great. Don't get me wrong. Like,
look at the fucking OVAs. If you look at that animation, I know some people will be like, "Oh, that's differently budgeted." Yeah, I'm pretty sure it costs less to make, for the record.
No, I'm pretty sure because we want to get the whole. Like, here's the other part where I think the animation worked good. We put it in a modern setting. Like, if we were literally just going to, like, the closest we got was Cyborg 009 versus Devilman, which was probably better budget was given to that one, but that one is literally using the 70s character models for it. You know, it's just straight up using that. But in this one, they decided that, okay, instead of us having to sell you the idea of like these 70s like punk gangs, what's it called? Punk like hooligans and all this other stuff going before it gets like cranked up to 11 in the plot. Like, I think what they did worked a lot better, especially with modernizing the story, because I think that just makes it it just feels like it was great. It was great. They could not sell that 70s animation style and have us not think this is old ass anime. Like that would have hindered it straight up.
I don't know, man. Like kind of Go Nagai has a style. Like he has like the girls with
Mega Man. That's what that style is.
He has the girls. Like he likes sideburns. He likes sideburns, especially like on girls. It's like one of the tropes, and they all have like the kind of like they all look like they stepped out of Speed Racer, kind of.
Gee, I wonder why they stepped out of Speed Racer.
they all have that look, like the normal people all have that look. But I don't know, man. Like for the record, I will admit this. Like I've already said, the story was great. I love Devilman. I just can't get over that fucking animation. And
it is a little bit of a hurdle to walk past.
Also, to jump back, to circle back around, like the studio working on Scott Pilgrim, we don't really know this yet, but I'm sure it's not done in a. I mean, you could argue that Scott Pilgrim was done in an anime style. I will say you're wrong. You can argue that.
All they have to do, they already got it right once. They just need to do the animation style the same way they did the little teaser before the movie came out.
Exactly. Apparently, it's gonna. From what I understand, it's not gonna have an anime style. It's gonna just look like Scott Pilgrim, which is fair. which is fair, and I agree that should be the case. So even if you want to go with like, oh, they have a Japanese studio, it's like they're not even using the quote.
You're just saying that because it's like, dude, the whole book is like literally, what's his name?
Brian O'Malley.
I'm forgetting his name. Yes, he is literally Wolverine. He is a Canadian into like Japanese culture thing, and you can see it bleed onto the pages. So like, I don't know what to say except that Wolverine is anime. So there you go.
Well, there is a Wolverine anime, so.
And Wolverine, doesn't he have like? Isn't like his on again love interest like Japanese?
One of them.
Well, isn't Lady? Is there more than one? I thought it was just Lady Deathstrike. Isn't she like? I've got her name. Isn't it like Yoko or something? I'm not making that up, right? Am I just being...
I'm pretty sure. I don't know if he has multiple like long-term love interests, but apparently Wolverine gets around decently.
Dude, the girl with the claws. What is her name?
Which one?
Yukiko. Yuriko. Sorry, I looked it up. Yuriko. Her name is Yuriko. Yuriko. Oh, her character name Yuriko Oyama. Her name is Deathstrike. With apparently sometimes it's with a Y and sometimes with an I. Deathstrike. Anyways, I just remember her from the cartoon, the X-Men cartoon, where you know her fingies.
Yeah.
but I think hers were nails. Like they weren't like Wolverine's claws. I like how everyone surrounding Wolverine has claws. There's Sabretooth, there's Lady Deathstrike, and there's Wolverine. It's like, how many people do you gotta just keep rehashing that with?
Oh, and don't forget X-23. I can't remember her actual name.
Oh, that girl, yeah. And I think Sabretooth also has another wolfy type villain that he fights. So like there's another kind of like, you know, man beast looking thing. I can't remember.
Sorry, her name is Laura Kinney, X-23. Oh, X-23. I got it confused because it just automatically made me think of Laura Linney.
I only know of her because she's in Marvel vs. Capcom 3. That was the first time I'd ever seen her. It's like, look, it's girl Wolverine who looks like she came out of Scott Pilgrim. At least that version. Everybody goes back to Scott. I don't know. I just feel like it's not gonna look like anime. Okay, well, once again, you could argue that like fucking Scott Pilgrim looks like anime in its original form. I don't think so. Its studio is Japanese, but they're doing fucking American art, and like, I don't know, like
Canadian.
Sorry,
it's not totally Spies Canadian, but it's still Canadian.
Canadian is crazy because I've gone on this rant before. I don't know why. This is like the fun fact I had to keep mentioning whenever Canada gets brought up these days.
Also, totally Spies is anime. Just saying.
Canada has the entire country of Canada has less of a population than the state of California, and that's fucking wild to me.
Actually, that is kind of wild. That is wild. What the?
Mind you,
is that right? Is that right? I'm sorry. I need to fact check you now. I'm gonna check population of California and then population of what's it called?
It's Canada. Close. Yeah, it's close, but it's like it's still less. It's like 39 point something and 39 point something.
It's Canada as of the 2021. Their 2021 census is 38.2.
Oh, see, it's even less. I thought it was
38.25 million. And then let's see, California population as of our 2021 census is 39.24 million. What is this madness? Is there literally just is there just a lot of like vacant space over in Canada?
I don't know. And like, don't get me like the thing that blows my mind is there are some big cities. Okay, I thought they were big. There are some big cities in Canada, like Vancouver, Toronto, Montreal, and I'm sure I'm forgetting like 3 or 4 others that everyone knows if they've never been to them. And like, are they big just for Canada? But they're actually like tiny little 500,000 people cities. I just find that crazy. That, like, California has places where no one lives. Yeah, California has a whole bunch of nothing in the middle, and in the
I wonder why. I live kind of near that middle.
Oh yeah. Surrounding Bakersfield, there ain't shit. We're not Bakersfield, the Central Valley, like Bakersfield, Fresno, and all that shit.
Yeah, no, it's like 2 hours to Fresno from here.
Their cities are pretty big. Toronto's population is about 5.5 million.
So what the fuck? Do these like 4 or 5 cities take up all the is it like Australia? Because Australia is similar. Apparently, like 80 or 90% of the population are in 2 cities. And I'm like, Canada just blows my mind.
Like a fourth is in the top 3 cities, basically. Toronto, Montreal, and Vancouver are about 11 million, 12 million ish.
Yeah, that's always been my rant about like how Canada blows my mind. How like no one lives there apparently. Canada, have you been to Canada? I haven't. It's a lie. It doesn't exist.
I've been there.
Been to Canada. Actually, I have been there. I say that like I told that story. I was in the airport a couple times, but
it looks like the size, square foot or so. We have 163,696 miles squared.
For the record, I think we are bigger, but that's because of Alaska, because Alaska's fucking gigantic. The US is bigger, but if you take out Alaska from the equation, we're a hell of a lot. Well, first of all, the US is smaller than Canada, but I mean California is clearly smaller than Canada.
Hold up. Yeah, because it's 3.8 million square miles. They have 3.8 million square miles to our 160,000.
And for the record, Montreal, Toronto, and Vancouver are all by the border. Well, Montreal's a little further north, but they're all by the border. So I imagine there's a period where you just don't see people anymore when you go north. And I know it gets like poly. I meant like North Poly. It gets like
polar.
Poly. It gets polar as you go further north, but still, like
dude,
I just.
Oh man, that isn't wild to me. I'm agreeing with you, Manuel.
Okay. Anyway, Canada's weird. Scott Pilgrim is not an anime, and I win.
You keep telling yourself that, Manuel. This is the screw you guys, I'm going home moment.
Honestly, I'm willing to kind of withhold judgment until they release it. For all I know, they're gonna fucking do Teen Titans the anime again. But I
don't think it's coming back. I wish, but I do not.
He means more that it's going to be like the second coming of that.
As in, like, they're going to have the little, like, I guess did they have that in the book? I don't know. They had little angry symbols and, like, teardrops and.
Wait, the Teen Titans comics or
no, the Scott Pilgrim ones.
Well, no, yeah, Scott Pilgrim had a lot of anime influence things.
I've never actually seen the book, so I think my ex-girlfriend did have them as well. I just, as a good boyfriend, I just chose not to get into what she liked. That's probably why we're not.
I think I know why she broke up with you, Manuel.
It's not like it's oozing it necessarily. You'll just see it occur every now and then, and it also makes every now and then it makes some fourth wall breaks as well. As well as I want to say a lot more of the influences are very video gamey. Like you'll see a lot of references to like 90s video games kind of spread out throughout like the book, so that might be what you get a little bit more of in the in the anime per se. But I don't like, it's not gonna be like, how Neo Yokio, how that one quite generally is trying to like give you all of the anime type influences right off the back, but it's also just being a little too self-aware in its execution. So you're there because it is a joke. But whenever you see something like that happen in Scott Pilgrim, it's just because it's just like, oh, yes, I'm influenced by anime. Oh, I believe we believe we're all influenced by anime here. Yes, okay. But speaking though of Neo Yokio, I lost my shit during the Christmas episode because the blonde dude, that's Gideon Graves. Let me see. Where is he? That's Jason Schwartzman. He is that blonde guy from the Christmas episode of Neo Yokio, and it's hilarious. He has the best line in the whole show. Calm your dick. But it's like Jaden Smith and them, they're all speaking like in New York for some reason, they all speak like very like high class British. When
Jaden Smith is in this one?
Yeah, he's basically the reason it got made. It's him and a bunch of other celebrities. I think it was originally at like 20th Century Animation or whatever before that it got canceled and Netflix bought it up.
Yeah, so like it's very funny because like I didn't even notice that was Jason Schwartzman, and I apologize for pronouncing that. But yeah, like that's him, and I lost it because I'm like, he sounds so different than the acoustics in here are amazing and stuff like that.
It's funny because I watched that when it came out. I didn't watch it like I didn't sit and really watch it. I put it on while I was doing other shit, so I didn't fully pay attention to it. But I didn't realize that there was like all these big name actors involved with it. I'm looking it up right now, and I'm like, what the fuck? It looks so bad, and it was kind of bad. It was funny.
I think it's supposed to be funny. I think it's very intentionally supposed to be funny.
I mean, I enjoyed it while I watched it, if you can consider it watching. But I do think it's worth noting, at least in my opinion, that I had forgotten all about it until I was trying to remember that other show that looked bad. Like, in my opinion, I thought it looked similar to Devilman Crybaby, not in terms of like a style per se, but just in how badly it was animated. But I don't know. I don't know. I'm stupid.
It was, just remember, it was very intentional. It was very intentional. It's like, it would have been different if we laughed at it and it wasn't intentionally trying to be funny. Like that would be very, that'd be very sad, actually, now that I think about it. But
all I remember was like a lot of weebs were like buying Toblerones just for the meme, and I'm like, really?
You're like, why were you upset that they were diminishing? Like, you want to be like, I want to get a Toblerone today, and all of a sudden there just weren't Toblerones anywhere. You're like, why the fuck are Toblerones like sold out?
Well, I do remember. I do remember. My dad's always liked Toblerones, and he passed away after the fact. But I do remember.
I'm sorry.
I do remember that he was years now, but I do remember at the time when the show was out. I had seen him for something like a birthday. I used to go a lot more out with a lot more of my family back then, like for a lot of dinners. I remember at some point, I forgot what I got him a Toblerone. I brought him one. It had been a birthday because why would I have a gift for him? Like, I don't love my parents that much. Anyways, I got him a Toblerone, and he casually mentioned that he hasn't been able to find them recently. And in my head, I was like, "You fucking weeps." Buying all the Toblerones at like fucking Target or whatever the hell my dad went to go look for Toblerones. But yeah, all I remember was like that was a thing. And I will say, like, when I watched it, I was like, oh, the Toblerone thing wasn't the most memorable thing from that show, but okay. Oh man, this is a really fast thing. Speaking of lines, of good lines, what is that, like, calm your dick? Another good line that reminds me, that randomly reminds me of, I was watching Night of the Demons recently, also on Tubi, like last week sometime, and there's a line when one of the dudes is like telling someone off. He's like, "Eat a bowl of fuck," and I'm like, similar to like calm your dick. I'm like, I want to work these into conversation somehow. I don't know how I'll do it.
It works there because it's just so outrageous, and we just have not, like, I don't know. Like, if there would have been a moment where if everybody literally watched that show at the exact same time, we probably could have calm your dick be more of a regular thing instead of it literally being like, what'd you tell me to do?
JD, calm your dick and eat a bowl of fuck.
You first, Manuel.
And then JD like ends the show. Anyways, honestly, I want to reiterate, I don't dislike Scott Pilgrim. I love the game. I think the movie was okay. And I've never read the book, so this probably isn't for me. But I am interested to see it. And see, that's the other thing. I'm pretty sure I'll like it. I just don't think it's anime. There's nothing wrong with that. I've never seen Ladybug, and I'm pretty. I don't think I'd like it. But I also don't consider it anime. I don't know where I was going with that, but I don't consider Ladybug anime either.
To be fair, Ladybug is actually just a children's cartoon at the end of the day. So
it's way out of my age range. And unlike things like Dragon Ball, I've had this rant before where Dragon Ball is clearly meant for young boys. But I do see.
To be fair, it's kind of like we can't really criticize all that because like Yu-Gi-Oh is children's card game. Exactly. Dragon Ball Z is shonen. Shonen is just young boys like anime. I don't know how Chainsaw Man became that, but
lots of blackmail on the Shonen Jump editors. Obviously,
I don't know how Attack on Titan. No, Attack on Titan was able to just kind of like
a perfect example to Ladybug. Like, I'll definitely watch Sailor Moon. I'll definitely watch Cardcaptor Sakura, which should get in the season, by the way, or announcement, I should say. Shit like that. But I don't think I'll ever watch Ladybug because that does feel like it's a kid's show. I don't know if that's just me or whatever. I don't know. All I know is there was a period at anime cons where people were always cosplaying that character, and I had
what,
never.
Ladybug or who?
I assume it's Ladybug. The tight suit where just the red and it's Ladybug.
Yeah,
it's Ladybug. Yeah,
Robin looking mask.
yeah.
But in my head, I thought, and mind you, I don't know Pixar that well. I thought it was from The Incredibles. I thought they were doing like
no. That's the thing. When it first, because originally the concept came out like in 2000 and what's it called? And of course I got out of focus again. It was like 2010 when I saw the idea for it originally, and when you see the concept art for it, it literally just screams The Incredibles. Like for real, I was just honestly felt like, oh, this looks really cute. I really enjoyed The Incredibles. It has nothing to do with The Incredibles, but like, it looked very cool, and it felt really weird when it came out like 5 years later. Like I honestly thought that thing got like shelved or something, and then later it was like, oh yeah, it's a thing now. But the only reason that I watch it is because I'm a degenerate. Because I am terrible. Because if there's any reason I watch anything, it's because about who's in it. Which technically to be fair, all the voice actors are actually in Ladybug. All of them are there. Like I kid you not, how many of the regular like Japanese voice actors, not Japanese, how much of the regular English voice cast is in Ladybug? But
Christina V is Ladybug.
Yes, and I'm look, I have a Christina V picture. It's not visible here in the podcasting, but it's like it's on, at least from the Discord, you can see it's on my wall. Like it's very much on the corner over there.
Oh, okay, I see it. Yeah.
I'm a big stan of hers, but I think that this is kind of interesting because she said that she wanted to be she got into voice acting because she enjoyed watching Sailor Moon. And I mean, technically she was Homura, so technically the magical girl thing. Actually, you know what? I think she had somebody else too. But like, you know, everybody kind of hopes that they would have a role that they think would be super awesome. And I think it's kind of cool that she fell into a role like that because it's essentially like a Sailor Moon for a younger, different generation. Also different audience then. I guess kind of it really just depends on who's watching what at what particular time. But I mean, yeah.
I mean, she is also now Sailor Mars as well.
I just learned
that's true, yeah.
I just learned that I don't know if this is actual streaming service or if it's just a site I'm on. But Disney Now, you can watch Miraculous Ladybug for free. What the fuck? What is Disney Now? When did this come out?
Oh, because I don't know, mate. Actually, I don't know what
Disney. You sure it's on one of their international things?
Yeah,
that might make sense. That might make more sense.
And apparently, you could watch like some decom, like 13th Year is here. I don't know. I stumbled on a weird site. Anyway, it's probably
actually. Did you or someone ask? Doesn't she go by her full name Valenzuela now? Which yes, she does. Her name comes off as Valenzuela in a lot of the newer stuff.
Yeah,
but
she's
back then. Yeah,
she was known as Christina V probably for casting reasons. Same way a lot of like people who don't.
So wait, is that like wait? Is she Hispanic in any way? Or
yes, she's Mexican.
Mexican.
She's Mexican. Yeah.
The only reason I mentioned that was like literally the Richie Valens thing, like with the voice actor version.
No, it's. I mean, it's just kind of sad because that does happen. So like, just simply because somebody might just be a different ethnicity, it's a lot easier to just have a very direct stage name because it's either very easy to remember or literally there is. If not an algorithm, there is somebody who is going through the applications, and it is a very stupid thing when they
it's like how James Rodriguez went by James Rode for like a decade or so when he was on Psych.
Oh my god! But
like just because he didn't look Mexican enough, I'm got big air quotes for those who don't see me, which is everyone, just because he's also very light skinned.
This is random, but it's kind of an interesting story, and it goes along with the theme we just talked about. I've mentioned this teacher before, or this professor, I should say more accurately. I took this African American history course because I needed class to take anyway, but I needed an elective history to finish a degree, so I took that one. And I'll never forget he was talking about like that thing, how people would like specifically talking about black people, and he was saying how they would change their names for like when he was younger, they would change their names, or give themselves like more white sounding names so they could pass things. And a student was all like, "Wait, but then why am I?" She was black, by the way. She's like, "Why am I like named?" I remember her name was like LaShonda or something like that, or whatever, like a more quote unquote African sounding name. And I'll never forget what the professor said. He's like, "Well, after a while, like people my generation learned that didn't matter anymore. Like that they'll still find a way to screw you over." So yeah, I guess that my point to bringing that up is, yeah, it's sad you have to change your name, but also what the fuck, just fucking.
No, it is very genuinely a very stupid thing, and it still persists to this day. Like, some people don't even choose to say whatever their nationality is, even though they'll have it listed on job applications and stuff like that. A lot of times people will just say, they won't really answer to that. They prefer not to answer because they don't know if that will affect things. Like,
I'll never. Well, for the record, you could just lie on that. Just put that you're white. uh, but I always love that question because like I'll never forget when I was working at a certain nameless. I'll just when I was looking at Party City, one of the other managers was all like, when somebody puts preferred not to answer, you know damn well that they're probably like black or Mexican, and I'm like, that's fucking racist. And
like, bro, the system's racist.
but I always love that, like, that was just a way of being like, not only are they that, but they don't want to say it. So it's like, don't hire them. And I'm like, and also later on when we, by the way, I don't know if I'm gonna get sued by saying this, but I don't fucking care. Party City has this as a system when you apply online. I'm sure all stores have this, that they'll mark an application red, green, or yellow, whether they're preferred hires.
Yeah.
And one of the things that can get you knocked off, like in the algorithm, so to speak, is if you put prefer not to answer. Like you'll get knocked to like the yellow or the red. And I'm like, that's racist.
It sucks because they might still even have that. They probably still have that depending on what other race you could pick. So it's very fucked up.
For the record, it's not illegal in all states. So maybe California would somehow there was. I'm sure there wasn't because Party City didn't care that much. I'm sure. But I'm pretty sure it's because most states you can ask that question and consider it. I don't know. Anyways, U.S. is fucked up. Donald Trump gets arrested.
Yes, thank God. Even if it feels like for the reasons of which just kind of feel like I feel there's plenty that you could charge him, but if he's gonna get arrested for something, I guess it's very much typical.
Yeah, I love the tangent. Like we had a nice fun show, and I was all like, "God, the world sucks."
Yeah,
but yeah, Donald Trump got arrested because of the Stormy Daniels affair. But I love that
for funneling campaign money to pay for it.
Exactly. But I love that for everything else he did, like the fucking January 6th shit. Like that's fine.
It's the tax evasion of the modern day, sadly.
I fucking love it. It's like you literally start an insurrection. It's like, nah, bro, can't touch him. Like starts funneling some money some places, which I'm sure everyone does. Not that it makes it right.
Once again,
everyone fucking does.
It wasn't that he did that. It was that he funneled campaign money to do it.
I don't know. I find that hilarious.
Also, I agree.
I'm not gonna lie. I didn't think it was gonna happen because like they've been saying it for like about 2 weeks now, and I'm like, God, just fucking arrest. I remember I was gonna make a post. I'm like, are they gonna arrest him or not? Like, what are you waiting for?
Well, I mean, you kind of have to have the grand jury indict him first.
Just arrest him.
Like, yeah, you can't just go around arresting people randomly.
That's how far like radicalizing going back around the other way.
Yeah. Okay, man, we'll just wrap this up.
Real fast, the Resident Evil 4 voice actress for Ada Wong is getting some bullshit. Even if you don't like someone's voice, don't fucking be mean to them.
I don't even know why this still happens. It's so dumb.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I looked up a comparison of all their voices, and I'm sure like the people who uploaded that did it in bad faith. But I looked them all up, and I'm like, I will admit that I prefer hers the least. But I will say this: like, no one seems to have done their homework. She's like only one of the Ada Wong voice actresses who's played the character twice. She was in the Welcome to Raccoon City movie, and nobody seems to reference that. Like everyone thinks she's new, but no, she isn't. Also, Ada Wong is one of those roles. It's the Piccolo of the video game world, where there's literally I think 7 I put 6, but I think she's the 7th voice actress who's played Ada Wong. And how many things is she in that you have 7 different people in like what? Less than 20 years?
Resident Evil 2, Resident Evil 4, Resident Evil 2 Remake.
But I mean,
Welcome to Raccoon City.
Wait, she wasn't. Oh, you're right.
Yeah, the remake that came out. I mean, and also to be fair, like there's plenty of other voice actors that have taken over for other voice actors in Resident Evil, so it's not like we've consistently only had like one voiceover do like they've all been varied essentially.
I think it's worth noting. Last thing I'll say, I think it's worth noting that even though most of the Ada Wong shit has come like material, not like her like shit. Most of the Ada Wong material that the character is in is more recent, like Resident Evil 2 remake, so some of the more Resident Evil 6 and so on, and this shit I'm forgetting. This person, what's her name, Lily Gao, is the first Asian actress to play that role, which blows my mind. That even when
after all that, an Asian character, and this is literally the first.
The first one, the first and only one. Like, there's like six other actresses, and they're all white people. Or actually, I'm not sure about one of them, but most of them are white. And I'm like, wow. I'm surprised Resident Evil 2 when they did it that they didn't get an Asian person.
Right?
I don't know. It just blows my mind. Anyways, even if you don't like someone's voice performance, fucking just don't be an asshole. Don't be an asshole. Period.
Manuel, could you take your own advice sometimes? I mean, you're not harassing them. You know how many times I have to listen to some of yours?
It's like, fuck, boy. Kaylee has the words. I'm gonna shut up. And I meant that as a joke. I love Kaylee's voice. I said this before. This is just to reiterate again, because I started saying it. I want to leave it open like that. It's not that I dislike some of the voice actors' voices that I know personally. It's that I find it weird hearing their voices in things I play or experience. It's usually video games. I don't watch much anime. I don't like hearing voices of people I know. It's my brain doesn't work that way. My brain explodes. I'm like, that's so and so. They can't be in a game. You know, that kind of thing. Manuel gets disinvited from the wedding. Yeah, shut up. Anyways, that's it. Thank you for coming, Josh. This is a fun episode.
Thank you. Glad to be here. I'm not sure if I'll be able to make it in the future due to like a new work schedule I'm gonna have, but I am glad to be here. This actually got me in a slightly better mood because my day had actually been good, but then I got some news today that's just something that I'm gonna have to deal with. It's not the worst thing ever, but it was just something that really got my mood into like a bad place. But I'm glad to be here. This was a lot of fun. It's always really cool.
Yeah, this is a fun episode. Hopefully you things cool out for you. Like, I swear to God, like I made this joke that like every time I say, well, shit's going bad, but it can't get any worse, it somehow gets worse. So I just stopped.
Yeah,
I just stopped saying that.
Dude, I literally was like, I just can't wait for things to get better, and then like I feel like I jinx myself. I'm like, what am I doing? What am I doing wrong? I'm just trying to live here.
Yeah, just survive until things get better. They eventually have to. I mean, like, hopefully they have to. Anyways, thank y'all for watching. Be kind to each other. Don't be a jerk.
Yes, be kind to each other.
Yeah, but everyone, put in the chat. Tell JD to go to calm his dick and to eat a bowl of fuck. And
what did JD do?
I don't know.
I feel that we'll just tell it to all the Trump supporters who are losing their minds over this whole thing. Tell them to calm their dick and eat a bowl of fuck. Which chances are probably some of them might be incellies, so they probably actually should do better and calm their dick so that they can eat a bowl of fuck. But you know.
Support us on Patreon, patreon.com/JDJConnections. And that's it. Peace out. Love you all. See you on Friday, Drink Talk Roll. And then next Tuesday, hopefully we'll do the 200th episode next Tuesday. I think Tiffany's coming back this week, but we'll see. Peace out.
Bye, everybody.
Other Tiffany, not the